bumper?
Whichever. We are live. Okay, so this is exciting. Welcome everybody. This is our opportunity to ask questions of our up and coming Worldcon bids and our two seated Worldcons. And so you can ask questions in the Discord and we will be able to see them, and I will pass them to our presenters. We're going to be giving our presenters 10 minutes total if they are a seated Worldcon, and 7 minutes total if they are a bid. So we're going to try to keep this rolling, and hopefully we won't run long. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce Bill Lawhorn and Colette Fazard from Discon 3. Please turn your video on and start your presentation.
Hello, I'm Colette, and I am one of the co-chairs of Discon 3.
Hi, I'm Bill Lawhorn, and thank you, Anne, for helping organize this. We really appreciate it.
Definitely. We don't really have a formal presentation. We're mostly here to take questions, but we do have a few highlights that we wanted to mention up front of some things that we've got going. Since Con Zealand, we have launched our fan fund, which we are calling Capitalize, the Discon 3 Fan Fund. And that is our effort to increase inclusion and diversity in our attendees at Discon 3. Discon 3 has seeded it with 20 memberships. And then we are taking donations. We got an initial report from our treasurer last night. We're off to a great start. So thank you so much for everybody who has already supported that effort for us. And the details are on our website, and applications to attend Discon 3 as part of the Capitalized Fund will be opening on October 15th, 2020. We also suggest that you guys keep an eye on our social media and our website, because at the end of this weekend, we are going to be announcing some further inclusion efforts that we are taking. We realize that these, having our members be able to understand and sort of see in advance what our plans are and what we are committing to is very important in making the decision as to whether they want to attend. So everything that we are publishing going forward on our sort of what we're calling phase 2 is what we Discon 3 are committing to. Last update, as we had mentioned at Con Zealand and through a statement on our website, there was a closure notice published for one of our two venues, the Marriott Wardman Park. Yesterday was the deadline for it. Friday, August 21st. We are in very close contact with our salesperson. We understand that discussions are still ongoing. They expect to maybe have a further update by Labor Day. So right now, Bill and I are talking with our division heads, and we've polled our division heads to basically say, hey guys, what's our drop dead date for, do we need to move on from that venue? Because as anybody here can understand, we can't have them just kind of, keep postponing that, for months and months on end. We need to know what we can count on. And in most recent news, in the last 24 hours, there is a new baby panda about this size, born in Washington, D.C. The giant panda, Mei Zhang, gave birth to a cub last night. We're very excited. First few weeks are always fraught. So everybody, please, cross your fingers and send your best thoughts to Mei Zhang and our best hopes for this panda and the baby panda. Bill, do you have anything to add?
Well, as we go through everything, you know how it is, we always forget something kind of really, really big and huge.
Oh God, that's right. Yes.
Yes, after Conzealand, it all merged together. It seems, although probably everybody here already knows that we asked our two special guests if they would take on a bigger role with DisCon 3, and of course they agreed. So we now have our hosts, and we announced that right after Conzealand that Sheree Renee Thomas and Malka Older would be going ahead and hosting the Hugo's for us. They're very excited, and they're working on some material with us that we'll be releasing on our new DisCon 3 YouTube platform going forward.
Yes, we do have we have our own we have our named YouTube channel all set. We're very excited, and we are going to be releasing probably about some monthly content there, sort of going up into the convention. You can see that you can tune in there for some special features, convention updates. We're really looking to reach out to the community across many different platforms, social media, website, YouTube. Very excited.
And speaking of outreach activities, I believe we just announced recently, or that we're going to be announcing soon, a special feature for dispatches from DC going forward for conventions. Colette's forgotten it. It's no, we are offering free ad space in dispatches from DC for all conventions, science fiction conventions. We'll get free ad space. The announcements, I believe the announcements on our website. If not, we'll have it out there soon.
Yes, it is out there, and it's in our dispatches to DC. Certainly, all of our fellow panelists here very welcome. Place an advertisement for your bid for your convention. We are providing those free in our dispatches, which are going out about quarterly to our members and are posted on our website.
So there's some more of our fan service activities. So we are obviously fraught a little bit trying to figure out what's going on with the hotel, because space differences will have some big effects on what we do. So there's some things on hold, but there are some things that we can't talk about right now that are in the works, which are really exciting and will be awesome for our attendees. So that is really, I think, all we have. So we have time for a couple of questions.
Yes.
And I haven't seen anything coming through on the chat for questions. So
no questions yet. I will say that what we do have confirmed for our facilities right now is we do have all of the function space and most of the sleeping rooms under contract at the Omni Shoreham Hotel, which is across the street from the Marriott Wardman Park. So
right.
We still have space. We're just not sure how much space we've got.
So I did have one question. You have mentioned that you're trying to support diversity at DisCon 3. And I was wondering if you could speak to the question of how diverse your convention committee itself is at this point.
Hard to tell, because honestly, I don't know. I mean, we are onboarding people daily, and we'd like to. I will be upfront. We'd like to have more diversity in our division head level and deputy division heads, and we are working on that. I honestly, I'm not able to say kind of further down because the fresh blood that is coming in and volunteering and stepping forward, they're folks that I don't have immediate knowledge of. I see a name and I'm like, oh, okay, great.
Do you currently have any people of color in your top 3 levels?
Define top 3 levels.
So there's like your officers, your executive, and your division heads, or your department heads.
That would be only 2 levels, because the division heads, departments,
or staff. Anyway, the people you actually know of. Do you have any?
Yes,
we do. Yes. Okay. Numerous, yes.
Right.
So
it sort of sounded like a dodge, and I was like, let's just be specific here.
Well, yeah. Sorry, it's like I said, it's hard to tell. So
the events team, actually, I was on a meeting with them 2 weeks ago, and it was over 50% persons of color.
Yeah,
that's excluding, and then there was it was heavily female as well. So and I don't know about the LGBTQ nature of that, because that's not something you're going to discuss when you're having a meeting. But
Okay.
that department was definitely there, and I know that Lisa Adler Golden with program is being very careful in her development of her program and brainstorm staff as well as her area heads to be inclusive and bring in older, younger, persons of color, people of that, and she's been very good at Balticon with ensuring that panels represent the attendees.
Yeah, so Baltimore and DC are both cities with a large population of color in the city that might not have previously discovered Worldcon. What are you doing to reach out to city residents themselves?
Our outreach team is working. I mean, we're trying to figure out how to modify it based on our on the current COVID-19 situation. We are planning promotional events at libraries all the way across in all 8 wards of the city. And we are also, I've come up with an idea. There is a fairly local restaurant chain that has locations in numerous wards of the city. And I'm looking to talk to them about doing promotional events there. I don't really want to say any more right now because I haven't talked to them yet.
Okay.
But,
well, speaking of the COVID-19 situation, are you planning a virtual option, or are you planning at this point at least a hybrid option so that people who
I got this, Colette.
Yeah.
Don't feel they can go out can still attend?
We have, from before we even won and we're seated, Colette and I have been discussing and planning more ways to include people who would not be able to attend DC, because we understand that it's expensive to travel to the United States, and that's even ignoring some of the rules to get in. So we were already planning on the inclusion of participants from around the world and who couldn't make the city. And now with the technology and change that have happened with Con Zealand, we are of course planning some material beyond the Hugos, beyond the Masquerade being broadcast. The extent of that, of course, will depend on the amount of resources we have available. I can't make a statement to number of items that we will plan to broadcast in some form, because we know that if we're broadcasting it, we have to caption it, and that means we're probably going to have to live caption it. And live captioning, as you know, can run $100 or more an hour. So that's.
And do you have somebody specifically on accessibility researching? Because we're still not doing very well. I remember I invited at least one person who was like, no, Zoom is a thing of terror for me, and I can't, I just can't do it. In terms of your participants, how could you?
Our access team is working on that, and we also are bringing in the part of the access staff from Con Zealand, who specifically worked quite a bit once they went virtual to work through a lot of those challenges, and brings a great wealth of experience.
And awesome. When you look at the tech team we have in place, Fred, Mike, I can't think of their names. Sid, they have a lot of experience from Balticon as well as Con Zealand.
And many of them are working here to
I gotta cut you off. It's Helen's turn.
Even better. Okay.
Helen, turn your screen on, your video.
Hi.
And all right, Dave, are you gonna wave hi, Dave? Yeah, okay.
I'm Helen, I'm the chair for ChiCon 8. And Dave, if you want to go ahead and start the screen share. All right, so, and I'm going to turn off my video during this part. Okay. So we were delighted to be chosen to host the 2022 Worldcon in Chicago just a couple weeks ago, and we will be officially known as ChiCon 8, the 80th World Science Fiction Convention. Our convention will be held from September 1st through 5th of 2022. We will be a Thursday to Monday convention, and the Monday is the federal Labor Day holiday here in the United States. We will be back at the Hyatt Regency Chicago for ChiCon 8. The Hyatt Regency was home to the last 4 Chicago Worldcons and is extremely excited to host us for a record 5th time. With the Hyatt, we are a convention under one roof. There's one site, it's 2 hotel towers and the convention center below. It's located in downtown Chicago by the Magnificent Mile, the Riverwalk, and the Loop. So there are plenty of restaurants and shopping and sightseeing opportunities nearby. It's easy access from both airports, Amtrak and Greyhound, and we have a lot more information on the website. Our membership rates information is online. I'm not going to go through the chart, but I do want to say a couple of things. In setting our rates, we have tried to keep them as low as possible for as long as possible in recognition of the economic impact of the current pandemic. Our current rates will be good through at least April 30th of 2021. Earlier this summer, we announced that we would have a family membership plan. After extensive discussion, though, we decided that instead of offering a pre-bundled plan, we would instead shift the categories and offer them at much lower rates. And we hope that this will make it easier for families of all types to attend. We are also offering a first attending Worldcon rate. This is a little different than in past years. If in the past you've only ever had a supporting membership to a Worldcon, but this is the year that you want to make the leap to attending, you can still purchase this level of membership. Also, if your only attending membership in the past was for the virtual Con Zealand, you are also eligible for this rate. And again, full details about the membership rates are on our website. You're going to sense that's a theme throughout this presentation. We do have an installment plan option. We're finalizing the details of it, but you can lock in your attending rate now by purchasing a supporting membership and then clicking the box for installment plan. If you already have a supporting membership from voting and you want to start an installment plan to upgrade, you can email us at installments@chicon.org. And then our registration and finance teams will be in touch this fall with details about the plan. We will not be requiring any additional payments until sometime in 2021. We've uploaded all of the voter information from Con Zealand into our database. We will soon be sending all supporting and attending members an email asking them to go in and check their information and settings for accuracy. Our website is able to take new registrations, and folks who already have a supporting membership from voting can upgrade to attending. If there's any questions or problems that you have, you can email registration@chicon.org. To go over our guest of honor slate really quickly, our author is Charles DeLint, artist is Floyd Norman, fan Edie Stern and Joe Ciclari, and our first fandom guest of honor is Earl Korshak. Our Toastmasters are Annalie Newitz and Charlie Jane Anders, and again, full details are on the website about our guests. We would really like folks to be involved. We need lots of volunteers for lots of different levels of jobs. If you're interested in volunteering, you can go to the website and there's a form to fill out so you can let us know. In addition to volunteering, we know that there are many people who already anticipate wanting to be on the program or to register to be in the art show or dealer's room. We do have some initial programming info on the website. Information on dealer's room and art show will be coming in 2021. Over the next couple of months, our focus is going to be on finalizing some of our processes, the recruitment of area heads and staff, and creating our timeline for the next 2 years. We are planning to create a diversity and inclusion team. We don't have the details finalized, but we have some beginning steps that we're taking now that we are a seated Worldcon. We hope to have this team in place and operational sometime in late September. We're also making plans for a financial assistance fund for attendees. Again, the details are being ironed out over the next couple months, but we are going to be having one. And finally, in addition to our guests of honor, who we view as having the Lifetime Achievement Award, we are planning to invite some featured guests. With our theme of Take to the Stars being very future focused, we plan for these featured guests to be up and coming stars. And we anticipate announcing them during our DISCON 3 presentation in 2021. Our website is chicon.org. You can find lots of information there already, including our Progress Report 0. All of our progress reports will be electronic only, and they'll be posted on the website and announced on social media and through email when they come out. Over the next several weeks, we're going to be adding a lot more material to our website as well as social media. And because we're in the time of virtual only conventions, we do encourage you to follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Chicago Worldcon and come back every couple of weeks to see what's new on the website. General questions can always be sent to info@chicon.org, or we have a contact us form on the site. And we look forward to seeing everyone in 2022, and stay safe and healthy until then. And we're happy to take questions.
I don't see any questions right now. Of course, your presentation makes the chat window disappear. Okay.
Well, I'm happy to answer some of the ones that came for DC, because I'm betting that people would want to know for us as well.
Right. Yeah. What are you doing if it's online?
We don't know yet. We're, we've been seated for about 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks. So we are still looking at that and seeing what's happening. It's something we're keeping in mind as we're planning, but we have absolutely nothing definitive at this point.
At this point, do you have a sense of what you want your department structure to look like? Like San Jose did some switching around that way. What is it going to look like?
So I am the chair. I have a group of chairs advisors, and then division heads, area heads, staff, and then AtCon, volunteers. So folks who aren't really doing anything before the convention. So I still have a couple of division heads positions to be filled. We've got.
I guess I meant, like, for instance, in terms of divisions. So, like, for instance, Con Jose.
The actual division structure?
They changed things around so that registration was part of a larger division called hospitality, which allowed Jerry Sullivan to create a consistent look and feel to the entire hotel, including both con suite and registration.
Sure. We do have an artistic director. Her name is Emily Knowles Grumble. She's a Chicago-based graphic designer. She's done a lot of work for Capricorn over the last several years. So she's going to be responsible for making sure that we do have that consistent look and feel everywhere.
Awesome.
We've got our financial division. We've got program, which is being headed up by Enchanter out of Boston and Ian Stockdale from California. We have facilities headed up by Joyce Lloyd out of California. Karen May is heading up our staff services division, and that's covering things like volunteers, con office, IT, all the things that the staff needs going up to the convention. Right. Member services is being headed up by Kathy Bond from Seattle, and that's things like access, and we do have an access page on the website already. And registration is under there, that sort of thing. And then, events, exhibits, promotions, and hospitality, which would be things like con suites and whatnot. Those are the 4 that I'm still looking to fill.
Okay. Final challenge question, which we gave the previous con. How many non-white people do you have already definitely in your committee?
We have a few. We do have one division head who identifies as a person of color as well as queer. And another division head who identifies as queer. That's part of the work that we're doing over the next month as far as the diversity inclusion team. It's not as diverse and inclusive as I would like it to be, but we're doing a lot of outreach to folks over the next month to see who we can get involved.
Are you going to aim for age diversity as well?
To some extent. I mean, we have some a lot of the committee so far, the division heads are on the younger side. I mean, as far as Worldcon running fandom goes, on the younger side. But we're certainly happy to have younger folks volunteer. The person who's probably going to head up our kids program, for example, she'll be, I think, have just turned 21 by the time the convention rolls around. So, we're certainly looking at, if somebody wants to volunteer, we're totally happy to work with them.
Awesome. Okay, well, we need to move on.
Okay.
Thanks, you guys.
Thank you.
So our next presenters are with a bid rather than a seated Worldcon. And we're going to start to go a little bit more fast and furious because we have a whole bunch of bids and we want to try to get through all of them. So I'm going to ask Cliff Dunn and Kate Secor to tell us about the Memphis in 2023 bid.
Everybody, this is Kate. I'm actually going to not turn my video off, and instead I'm going to show you the video that we made for Con Zealand. It runs about 4 minutes, so we should have time to take questions afterwards. Let's hope this works. I've never done this before, so please forgive me if something goes sideways.
Put on my blue suede shoes and I boarded the plane. Touchdown in the land of the Delta Blues. In the middle of
Welcome to Memphis in 2023, a bid to hold the 81st World Science Fiction Convention in Memphis, Tennessee, USA. This is our proposed venue, the Renaissance Convention Center, Memphis. It's newly renovated, has approximately 300,000 square foot of total space, has a 118,000 square foot exhibit hall, which can be used for the art show and the dealer's hall, a 28,000 square foot ballroom, which can be used for events like the Hugo Awards ceremony pre-party. There are 46 flexible meeting rooms, which can be arranged in various configurations of larger and smaller depending on programming needs. There's a 2,100 seat auditorium theater, which can be used for events like the Hugo Awards ceremony and the masquerade. There are 1,800 hotel rooms nearby, and it's within walking distance to restaurants and bars. This is the atrium of the convention center, the ballroom, and the auditorium theater where the Hugo Awards and the masquerade would be held. Our main hotel would be the Sheraton Memphis Downtown, with 600 smoke-free rooms in king, double, twin double, and suite configurations. There's a restaurant and bar in the hotel, an indoor heated pool, 24-hour fitness center, free Wi-Fi for guests, and attached covered parking. The hotel is directly connected to the convention center via a skywalk.
We just lost sound on the video.
Other nearby attractions
there it is.
include the National Civil Rights Museum, Graceland, Elvis Presley's mansion and museum, the Memphis Zoo, Beale Street, home of the blues, with lots of blues music and lots of barbecue.
touchdown in the land of the Delta Blues. In the middle of the pouring rain.
That is an awesome street shot.
Thank you. Let's see.
Thank you.
I think that turned the share off. So I should
Yeah.
be back now. Okay.
Okay, so let's see. What are your goals? We got a little bit into diversity, and of course, we mentioned age, we mentioned race. One of the things that I'm interested in, especially for Worldcon bids, is diversity by nationality. So I'm very curious for your bids. What do you have as far as committee representation from different countries, ambassadors to different fan groups, and do you have many advisors who have run Worldcons in other countries at this point?
We do have international representation on both the bid committee and the extremely hopeful convention committee that we're putting together, largely from New Zealand and Ireland, because
Okay.
it's fairly easy to find people who have experience and therefore know what they're getting themselves into.
Right.
We're doing really well on age diversity. Until last Saturday, both the bid chairs were under 40. Sorry, I ruined it for everybody. Yeah, we've got some LGBTQ plus representation. We are not doing as well on racial diversity as I was hoping we would. Straight up, I'm going to admit to that. It's not, it's kind of hard to hide. We are always looking for help. We are absolutely open. There are so many places where we need help that at this point, if you've got a good idea, please bring it to us. We'll probably say yes. We do have Mike Wilmoth on to help us negotiate with the convention center and the hotel. The convention center actually offered us a really good deal and have been very nice to us. The hotel, for some reason, is being extremely shirty about room rates. They seem to not understand that a fan convention does not mean that everybody has expense account budgets. The first round of negotiations, we sent it back 3 times to get it under $200 a night when their rack rate was $160. So we're hoping that throwing someone more experienced at them will enable us to get them to play ball.
What is the facility?
The facility is the Memphis Renaissance Convention Center. It is.
No, I mean, does it have a corporate relationship to something?
It's a Sheraton.
It's a Sheraton.
Mm-hmm.
The hotel's a Sheraton, that is.
Yeah.
The hotels are Sheraton. Okay.
Yeah.
So have you looked into having asking another Sheraton that has hosted cons like this to talk to them?
We're getting there.
Okay.
Mike, I think Mike wants to give it a try again, because it turns out that in between the last time we talked to them and the time that Mike got in touch with them, everyone we were working with has gone. The entire team, like the convention center team, the hotel team, the visitors bureau team, all of them are gone.
Which is sometimes a problem, but if they've been,
Well, the nice thing is we have the convention center proposal in writing.
Mm-hmm.
With the move-in, move-out dates, with the amount of money they were going to charge us. So it would be very hard for them to move away from the really nice deal they've offered us. And we're hoping that the current Sheraton team, especially, it's a little mean, but they've got to be hurting right now.
I mean, and the other thing I will say is that there's a Crown Plaza that is another half a block away, and we have no problem playing the two of them off against each other.
Yeah, we're actually hoping to have blocks in both.
Okay.
Because they are the 2 closest hotels.
Mm-hmm. Would you still put the room parties in the Sheraton?
Yes. We're also going to see if we can get some spillover function space in the Sheraton for the 24-hour activities like gaming and Filk.
Excellent.
Just so that people can sort of stumble up and down to their rooms. I see there's also a question about whether the venue has been finished. No, it is on schedule to be finished this fall, as far as we know. We are planning, when COVID stops, to go down with ourselves and some video cameras and a rental Mobi and do a video drive-through of the site so that we can show it to everybody. Because it's one thing to see their very pretty, architectural diagrams of this is what's going to look like. It's a completely different thing to have an actual person walking through and saying, oh, they really weren't kidding when they said there weren't any stairs here.
Yeah.
And what about when COVID doesn't stop?
So we've got 5. We're basically looking at up to 5 models that run from a full Worldcon in terms of 4,000 to 5,000 people, to a reduced one because travel is still constrained, to an even smaller one because we're dealing with a hard cap, down to having to do a business meeting and Hugo ceremony, and everything else is virtual. We're still planning that. We're still seeing what's going to happen technology wise, because I think we can all agree that where we are right now in 2020 in terms of video conferencing and whatnot technology is not where we're going to be in 2023. So a lot of that is waiting for the technology situation to sort of solve itself.
Also, we're watching what everyone else is doing and hoping we can steal their hard work.
Right. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Go Chicago and Detroit, DC. So we need to move on, and our next presenter is Tony from Chang'an in 2023. Tony, are you ready?
Okay. Let me get my screen. Are we getting it at all?
It says you started screen sharing, but I'm not seeing something. You might have to say what you're going to share. I mean, tell the computer what to share.
Is it there?
Yeah.
Okay, it's on my, it's a PPT. I will run it very quickly. Last time we didn't finish the last part, so I will run it briefly. You see my picture?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you see the screen. Okay. There's a position of Chengdu, relatively like geographical. It's middle, center, southwest-ish average temperature. I mean, I'll go to the important part about the facilities. The city is a city center, the second international airport, and this is city center, like that's the people's lifestyle, like drinking tea in the park. That's the traditional like Chengdu people's. This 1500 years a poet like the park. It's true. That park, you see these Asian leaders, they have their meeting there. So that's a poet, it's a Chinese poet. And this Chengdu is one of the number one tourist destination in China. It's famous for the laid-back lifestyle. These are all located in the center of the city and very vibrant nightlife. Bars, restaurants along this river, and the fancy restaurant across the river on the bridge. And yeah, this irrigation system like dated back to 1,000 years ago still, Asian technology is still helping this whole area like prosperity. And Chengdu is also the most, one of the most inclusive and diverse city in China. And of course, we have the panda base breeding and research center, a lot of panda and great food. That's the number one great food in China and cultural life. I'll show this picture. They're doing like face changing like this. Can you see that? It's some opera trick, and also there's some ancient like museum. These different civilization shows the convergence, the inclusiveness of the Chinese culture. And yeah, so we have, Chengdu is the number one sci-fi city ranked. You see the fans. And Chengdu has held 5 international science fiction conventions since 1991. You see this one. It's Neil Gaiman, Autograph for a Young Boy. That's one of the future. The Chinese fandom is all very young. I think it's nurtured by a recent 30 years of the open up to the world and influenced by the world science fiction, the tradition. So this is last year. We have, this picture is not good quality. We have Bill, Lohu, Dave McCarty are all here, like introducing the system of the Worldcon and give us a better idea how to run Worldcon well. So yeah, we have many writers, like authors, going to China to have talk. And last month we officially established the Chengdu Science Fiction Association to unite all the fans-based like organizations from different cities all over China to support our bid, as opposed to previous Chengdu's attempt. It's only run by one organization. It's only by a science fiction World magazine. So now we have, we adopt a different new strategy. We are uniting all the resources together, and yeah, so not only Chengdu, but different cities, and we have a big fandom. This is also in Chengdu from past. You see, this one I think I want to show is an Italian publisher, also science fiction writer. He had a talk in Chengdu's university. It's called Sichuan University. You see all the students, the enthusiastic students. That's the faces of the Chinese science fiction fans. That's the face of the fans. So yeah, energetic and young, and yeah, we have very close working partnership with many established writers and publishers, and also because of, I think, the three-body problem, when they won the Hugo Award, give a big boost, a huge boost towards country. Now you see the college students are doing sci-fi convention, and we're inviting all sorts of international like sci-fi community personnel, celebrities coming to give talk. Now we have many new science fiction awards. This is in the desert. We established Mars, some kind of town. We have a special science fiction award based.
Nice. 1 minute, Tony.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So this is the venue. It's you see it here. The number is a square meter, so times 10 would be the square feet. So it's one of the largest facilities and advanced in Southwest China is the #1 facilities. And this is current, they are doing something. And it's right beside the metro station, so the traffic is really convenient. 20 minutes ride to the center of the city, 20 minutes to airport, to train station. And yeah, so we are still forming our different divisions and recruiting volunteer, doing campaign, and also we're praying for world peace.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome, thank you. I didn't see if there were any specific questions. I am curious, are you thinking in terms of an all English event, or planning some ways that there would be translations into?
It would be bilingual. We will use live, simultaneous translation, and also utilize some newest technology. There's a picture I showed. There's a machine translation aided by a real live person, so it can achieve pretty high accuracy. It's pretty similar as you guys doing the Zoom. There's a closed captioning, and it will be in multiple languages. So it will project the subtitles at the side.
Okay, so we have to move on, but if anybody has more questions in the Discord, of course, everybody who's presenting can stick around and be in the Discord after this panel to answer any further questions in the Discord.
Yes, I will come back to answer the question, but maybe not right away. I have some emergencies. My daughter is in the hospital, so yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I will come back to answer the questions for sure, and also wait for our folks in Chengdu wake up. They will join later. Yeah, but it's midnight for them. Yeah.
All right. Well, I know you have I hope you have a fan table set up so people can stop by and ask questions there.
I think it is the fan table, right? I mean, I don't know. Tina set up here. We have this Chengdu in 2023 thing.
I'll take a look and follow up with you.
Yes.
Okay. Let's switch to Esther McCollum Stewart and Marguerite Smith, representing Glasgow in 2024. We're going to run over into our 10-minute. We're supposed to let people switch over time, but I'm hoping they won't give us a hard kicking us out. So can you guys take about 5 minutes?
Yep, that's absolutely fine. Hi, everybody. Let me just share my screen. There we go. Okie dokie. Let's go. Get out of the way. Okay, hello everybody. So I'm Esther McCallum Stewart, and Marguerite Smith is just keeping an eye on things as well. She's my vice chair. I was going to say wave, Marguerite, and she did. So
we're on the same wavelength.
So Glasgow 2024, this is our wonderful logo by Sarah Felix, and congratulations, Sarah, she's just been nominated for a Chelsea. We just discovered that this morning, so that's really exciting. Okay, so our proposed dates are the 8th to the 12th of August 2024, and this is our venue site. It's been used twice before for Worldcons, but those of you who've attended before might notice we've got a new arrival. There's a big UFO on the right-hand side there. So on the left-hand side, you can see our auditorium. It's a 3,400 person auditorium, and behind it, those twinkly lights are part of the convention center, which stretches behind it. We're not currently planning to use the Hydro for extra space because it is a music venue. It's, you know, Rihanna sort of sings there, but there are some breakout rooms that we would consider. And off on the left-hand side, about 300 meters away, there is also a new science museum for children. It's amazing, I really love it. And it has some extra space in there as well, including some really, really small auditoriums and a planetarium. So exciting. Okay, so speaking of art, we launched this new piece of art by Ian Clark during Con Zealand, and I just wanted to show it to you again because I just love it. I think it's amazing, and it re-visualizes Docklands looking completely different. It's based on a piece of art called Shipbuilding on the Clyde, and we sent out over 100 postcards during Con Zealand to people who pre-supported us. And on that, I'm delighted to be able to say that not only are we tracking with Dublin at the moment, I'm just waiting for the statistics on that, but we also think we've probably hit 700 supporters during NASFiC. So if you haven't pre-supported, let's keep going on that. That's amazing. Okay, so actual construction on the site. Really big changes from 2005 when it was last held here. There will be 8 hotels on site. That is a huge difference. It means that we can have everything located on site with a total of 117,000. So I've got that wrong, 1,700 rooms. I'm just calculating, sorry. So we currently have the Crown Plaza, which we are going to use as our party hotel and our fan bar. We've already been in negotiations with them. We also have provisional hotel rates, but I'm not going to disclose those yet. The Campanile is independent. Then we have the Hilton Garden Inn, that's completely new, the Premier Inn and the Radisson Red. And going up at the moment are the Moxie and the Courtyard. Marriott's very unusual for Scotland. It's not, these are the first of their kind, but we have Marriott on site now. And a Radisson Blue. So we have all of the different budget areas catered for in those 8 hotels, and they've broken ground and are building them. This isn't a building site, they are going up. There's cranes everywhere at the moment. So just so that you can sort of see inside the Radisson Red very briefly, you can actually see if you peek through those windows just how close it is to the Armadillo, which is the auditorium, and the Hydro itself, which is the UFO. There's a bar on the 7th floor. It's absolutely gorgeous. It is Moby and wheelchair accessible. And all of the rooms have been decorated and individually illustrated by Scottish comic book artist Frank Quitely, who some of you may remember from things like The Invisibles. So there's just an example of one of the rooms, again, just really nice. So onto our committee. You'll probably recognise some old names and some new names here. We've tried to mix this up as much as possible. We've recruited very heavily from local fandom. So you can see there's some very obviously Scottish voices there, or obviously Scottish names, including my own. We have 5 ex-Worldcon chairs on our committee advisory team or bid team. But again, we are looking to recruit as broadly as we can. Okay, so just to conclude, I just wanted to just talk very briefly about what's been happening with our venue. You might notice it's got a letter missing from previously. It's been renamed during COVID. So it has been converted into an emergency Nightingale hospital, which fortunately has not had to be used. It is beds, but it's not in use. And we've been in communication with the SEC all the way through this. It's named after Louisa Jordan, who was a Scottish...
1 minute.
I know, who served during the First World War in what was then called Serbia. So we've been communicating with them, but this is also really to our advantage because it means that we know that they know very much about requirements for distancing, what their venue is capable of. So that's actually very kind of useful and we're incredibly proud of them. So here are our prices. I'm not going to dwell on those. You can go and have a look on our website, and here's how you get hold of us, and yet more art by Ian there, our Gerda Dragon of the Forth Bridge. Thank you very much.
Okay. So, so you mentioned the different Worldcon chairs, which is great. As far as like the nationalities, countries that have not had a Worldcon yet, do you have any representation of them on your bid committee?
On the committee, we don't, but on the team, we absolutely do. And we've also set up a pre-initiative, which we're working with Glasgow University at the moment. So we held a number of online events. And we want to continue these, but with specifically BAME, LGBTQ and underrepresented voices of Scotland. So we've already been communicating with our local communities, and we've got a huge list of people who we want to produce these events with. There'll be Zoom panels very much like the one that we've done already, and that will be in collaboration with Glasgow University and Dimitra Fimi, who is the member of staff that we're working with there. Yes, thank you, Marguerite. BAME is Black, Asian and minority ethnic is the term that we tend to use in Scotland and the UK. Thank you.
Good point.
Just, I know that's not what's used in the US, so yeah.
We've been starting to use BIPOC, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think we're going to have to move on to Kevin because he has to get to another panel anyway.
Yeah, of course. And just a quick, I hope your daughter is okay, Tony. That's sad news.
Okay. So Kevin Black is going to be
hello.
Seattle in 2025.
Hello, am I being heard? Yes.
You're live. Yes.
Great. I'm part of the bid committee and the facilities liaison for the Seattle 2025 Worldcon bid. Our co-chairs for the bid, we have a new co-chair for the bid. Our co-chairs for the bid are Kathy Bond and Sunny Jim Morgan. They are currently attending a planning meeting for NorwestCon, which we're planning, which is our annual convention here in the Northwest, the flagship convention in the Pacific Northwest. And we are really looking forward. The last time Worldcon was in Seattle, as many of you know better than I do, was in, I believe, 1963, which is way too long. We are really looking forward to inviting the Worldcon community to experience our Pacific Northwest fan culture and to continue to build on and engage fandom and show you our community of readers, doers, makers, and learners and creators in the Pacific Northwest. I mean, Seattle, what's not to love? We've got amazing nature from mountains to saltwater, freshwater, rainforest, Mount Rainier National Park, the Olympic National Park, tech community, museums, the urban center of Seattle, which I think ought to sell itself. We are in the very early stages of planning. We have a fairly small bid committee right now. We're in the process of developing recruitments for an advisory committee that will help us be more diverse and bring our plans forward. Please look for additional updates in the future. We're putting together a website and newsletter and features like that right now. And I'd be happy to answer questions, but we're over time. And so I will leave it at that. And I posted in the chat our Q&A doc, and I'll post that in our bid channel for NASFiC as well. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Awesome. And we really hope that COVID is not an issue by then. Okay.
I hope that too.
That we've either, it might not be gone, but hopefully we're living with it in a more normalized way. All right.
I would say, 80% of our big committee is working to bring you virtual NASFiC this weekend, as well as.
We need to cut you off though if Perky is to and Leifer to have anything to say. So
very good.
Perky and Leifer.